Good afternoon, grade 11s. It is the 18th of May. This is your grade 11 CAT lesson. Today we are doing part 2 of forms and templates, and we're going to be focusing on how to create an electronic form. Okay. Okay, so let's just backtrack here to the beginning of it. As I said, we are looking at forms and templates. In the previous video, I showed you how to create a template in Word. And this time I'm going to show you how to create a form using Microsoft Word. Now, for your PAT, one of the requirements is that you need to create a questionnaire. And you will be able to use the skills that you learned today to create a questionnaire, an electronic form. So it's very important. You have to create one in Word, and you can then do the one that you want everyone to fill out to be done in Google Forms. Okay, let us begin. So let us take a look at what is Word Forms. Word is used to create all types of forms that need to be filled in to obtain information or data. So any of these online forms or surveys that you may have filled in, even when you create a new account, that is an electronic form. This data is often entered on hard copies, and it then needs to be typed into a computer so it can be stored and processed. So before this year, when you applied to Cornerstone, you had to fill in the application form, and we would give you a document, your parents would fill it in, and then basically what would happen is once you've returned it, someone would sit and type in all the information that your parents filled in. We then started looking at electronic forms where your parents could actually fill the form in electronically. So to enter data into a computer is called data capturing. That was one of my first jobs before I became a teacher. I actually was a data capturer. Okay, so how do we design a form in Word? A Word form is basically a Word document with special properties for filling information or answering questions. The user types data directly into certain fields in the document, but is prevented from making changes to other parts of the document. Okay, so activity 1, I'm going to quickly show you activity 1. It says open the document, easy questions, and answer the questions by selecting the correct answer in each case, and then you need to save the document. So let me find my activity easy questions. There we go. Okay, I will upload this as an activity for you. You do have all the data. It is on the CD that was provided with the Study Opportunities textbook. So as you can see, all the areas where I need to fill in have a gray block. Okay, so I'm going to explain the different types. Over here, I need to, the question was type your name here. So I'm going to enter Miss Van Beek. Then over here, this is called a combo or a drop-down box. A mouse and keyboard is it an input box or is it an output box? I would select an input box. A screen and a printer is an input or output. Screens and printers are output. A printer produces a what type of copy? So over here, I need to say, is it a hard copy or a soft copy? It will be a hard copy so that it is permanent. And you see how the forms resize depending on the size of the field. The keyboard has many keys. Which key would you press to make a copy of the image on the screen? So let's look at our options. I can choose print screen, scroll key, or tab. Okay, let's see. Scroll lock is going to prevent my document from moving up and down. And tab is going to go to the next field. Okay, so I'm going to choose print screen. Keyboards have different layouts of keys. Look on your own keyboard to see the keyboard most commonly used. It is now the one that you are used to using, and the one that is in our computer center are the QWERTY keyboards. Those are the first 6 letters on a standard keyboard. The size of monitors is given in inches, so 14 inch, 15 inch. They are measured in, now is it along the top of the monitor, so from left to right, top to bottom, or diagonally from bottom left corner to top right corner, or down the side, so top to bottom. And if you remember correctly, to work out the size of my monitor, I'm going to say from bottom left corner to top left corner diagonally. And my resolution, is it measured in inches, pixels, or centimeters? My resolution is measured in pixels. Okay, so there you go. Now, this is a very handy way to make sure that your user is not going to make any spelling mistakes, because that can change your data when you begin to analyze it in Excel and Access. Okay, so let's go back to our PowerPoint. Now, creating Word forms. Electronic forms in Word can be designed to do the following: serve as a user-friendly interface for the direct inputting of data. It makes it easier for the user by simply letting them select from an item from a list. So this would then be a closed-ended question, not an open-ended question. It can determine the format of that which should be filled in. It can protect the rest of the document to prevent the user from changing anything else. Okay, so that's quite important. If you sent out a questionnaire or a survey, you do not want people to go and change your questions or your options, because that is going to make your data invalid. Okay, so what we've got here is I've created a form. You're going to create a basic document recycling project. I've placed these fields. Okay, so let me show you the document that I have here. Let's just get to it. There we go. Okay, so basically what I did is I entered information. But when I enter, let's see, I'm going to add an extra field here to show you. Say I wanted surname. Now, normally what you would have done is entered a line. But the problem is, as soon as I try and fill in my surname, do you see that it is going to move? Okay, and we don't actually want that to happen. So we need to find a different way to do that. So let us look at the steps. So first, create the basic Word document and decide where the form fields should be and what format each field should be. Now, what you're going to do is that you are going to experiment with a new part of Word that is not always activated. So very important in your exam, make sure that you go and activate the developer tool. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so mine's already activated. I'm going to quickly go out and show you. So anywhere on the gray area in your ribbon at the top, you're going to right click and you're going to say customize the ribbon. Okay, now what would have been is you've got all your different options here. You'll see all the commands that there are, but the one that is usually deactivated is the developer tool. So all you simply have to do is go and click it and click OK. What it's going to do then, it is going to, let's just wait for that to move up. Over here at the top, you will see there's a developer tool. So there you would tick your developer tool, and as you can see here, there are a variety of things. But you are mainly going to be working in the controls group. Okay. So let us take a look here. So I'm going to go to my developer tool, and over here you can see I have my controls group. There is a rich text format, which I can enter. I can plain text. I can insert a picture, the checkbox. There we have our combo box that you saw in the previous activity. And very importantly, the legacy tools. Okay, so let us go and take a look here. So on the developer tab, you're going to mainly use your controls group. Select the word where you want to insert the form field. Click on the plain text content control. That's the second one. The first one, the rich text content field, that will allow the user to enter bold, italic, etc. But we just want simple plain text for when the user is entering their information. You will then click on the plain text content control, after which you're going to click on the design mode and change the default instruction. So let me show you how to do that. So over here, I'm going to select my field. Okay. I'm going to click on the plain text. And then afterwards, what I want to do is I'm going to change the design mode. Okay. And I'm going to enter here. Let's just see, I just want to remove. So in my design mode, it's supposed to give me the option. I'm going to type here, enter your surname. Okay, and you see there these funny little brackets here? Okay, this is to show you that a form field has been entered. And then you can simply just tick off it. Okay, now what I would like to do there is I want to change the properties so that when I scroll over it, then I know exactly what has to be filled in there. And I'm just going to type in the words surname. Okay. And there you have just added a new form field. Okay. So after you've entered all the fields, clicking on each field, then click on the properties and name each field and do this for all the fields so that it is easy for the user to be able to see which field they are filling in. Okay, so we've done that. Let's just go and fix this one. We're going to click on properties, and this one is going to be school, and click OK. Okay. Now, the next part. This is the legacy tools. Now, depending on which version of Microsoft Word you have, it's going to have a different icon. So in some, it's going to be a little folder with, looks like a hammer and screwdriver, a set of tools, or it can be a suitcase. Okay, so just look at the different if you scroll over the icons, it will pop up and tell you legacy forms. Okay, so the main ones that you are going to be working with is the first one, a text form field. Now in programming, we would call that an edit box. So it's a box that you're going to create where the user is going to enter information. The second one is the checkbox. This is an item where, say for example, if you are you have a restaurant or you're organizing a camp and you want to know if any of your the people that are attending the camp are vegetarian, then you can use a checkbox that they need to tick whether or not they are vegetarian. The third one, which you have seen in activity 1, is the drop-down field where I can select one of many different options. Now I won't be able to select more than one option. I can only select one. Okay, so over here, I'm going to show you, there's my checkbox, just so that you know what a checkbox looks like. I would have gone to my checkbox over there and inserted it. Okay. These fields here, I'm going to come back to. This is the in my legacy tool. So let's start here with my drop-down box. Okay, so I'm going to say add another field here so that you can see, let's say grade, and I'm going to go to my legacy tool. So in the controls group, I click on legacy tools, and over here I'm going to choose the third option, and it is, let's just check. Sorry, I think I've created the wrong one. Yes. Okay, this one could also be an option. This is a drop down. I just want to see. Need to click off it to be able to. Okay, let's see the option. That is my combo box. Okay, there are different options here. I can choose the combo box, or I can choose a drop-down form field. Okay, so let's try the drop-down form field. Now to get to that, I'm going to change the properties, and I'm going to, I actually want to do the same as what is in the activity. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to use a group box, and I'm going to go to properties, and over here, this is called grade. Okay, and then over here, it's going to give me the option to choose an item, and I'm going to say grade 8, and I'm going to add all the different grades that we have. And this is an exam question. Now I just want to show you over here. Say for example, I wanted this to move up or down. Once you've selected or created the different options, you can modify it. So in other words, if you made a spelling mistake or you want to change the name, I can remove it. I can move it up and down. Okay. So you can choose however you want to. So this is an exam question, so please make sure you understand how to do this. Sorry, my voice is struggling again a bit today. So there we go. Okay, so we have our text form, our checkbox, and our drop down. Here I have shown you how to insert the drop down form field, how to add the different values that you want them to choose from. So for example, I said I'm going to go through this activity again. So let's say here, I want to go to properties, and I have now, because it's a recycling, they can choose from EcoBrick, Spackworm Challenge, or Litter Busters. Okay, and each time I can just add the different options there. Okay. So let's carry on. Then the next option we have is the text form field options. When you right-click on a form field and select properties, a dialog box appears in which you can specify various properties. For example, for a text form field, you can specify the type of text. So there is regular or number, etc. You can also specify the text format. This question has appeared in final matric exams. So please make sure that you know exactly how to do this. Okay, so over here, how do I insert a text field? Okay, I'm going to delete that one. You're going to go to your legacy tools, and I'm going to choose the first option, the text form field. Okay, and as you saw in the previous one, it's going to create a little gray block for you. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to properties, and here I can now see the different options. So there I can choose the same as in Excel. I can say, is it number? So this is going to be a number, and then you can specify how the number must look. You can look at the length of, so we can say, for example, a cell phone number cannot be more than 13 characters. The macros you do not actually work with, so don't worry about that. That's quite advanced. You can even create a bookmark for this. Okay, you can add help text so that the user need. So we can say here, type your own, please enter your cell phone number and click OK, so that when they scroll over it in the runtime, it will then give them a hint of what they are supposed to be doing. Okay. Okay. The last part that you will need to do, which is very important, you need to protect your form so that no user can go and change anything on it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find in the developer tool, you will see there is restrict editing. So it is important to place editing restrictions to prevent the user from making any changes, also to ensure that your form works correctly. To activate this, you're going to click on Restrict Editing in the Protect group in the Developer tab. A task pane is going to open on the right-hand side that will give you different options. You will then set editing restrictions to filling in forms, and then at Start Enforcement, you will click OK, or click Yes, Start Enforcing. So that means from this point on, this form is protected and no one can make any changes, only you yourself. What you can do to ensure this is you can actually enter a password onto your document to make sure that no one goes and changes your questionnaire. Okay, so let's take a look here. I've now, in my Protect group, I set restrict editing, and here I have, there are different options. I can say track changes, comments, filling in forms, no changes. The one that we are looking for here specifically is filling in forms, and then this was actually activated, but because I've already worked on it before, are you ready to apply these changes? You can turn them on and off, yes or no. You may just need to make sure that you have saved your document. So I'm going to quickly save it. I'm just going to save it onto my desktop so that it's easy to find. And I say save. Okay, and there we go. And my document has been protected. And you see there's the other activity, the document template from the part 1 of this PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, then for homework, you are to complete activity 2, page 147. It is in your study opportunities textbook. You need to finish both the activities. Question 1, so activity 2.1 and 2.2 for me, please. And that is all we have for today. I hope you have learned something new. Remember to apply this in your PAT. It is going to make your life much, much easier. Okay. Have a great day, all of you, and see you soon.